You're listening to Jesus Home Ministries podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to Jesus Home Ministries. I'm Jeremy Ballard.
And I'm Leo Hetfield.
It has been my dream for many years to start this ministry. This time God has finally opened the door to fulfilling this calling. I'm so excited to be here and to have Leo as my partner.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here too. It's such a great honor and privilege to serve God.
You know, one of the most amazing things about serving God is that it makes life interesting and even mysterious.
Really, how's that?
Several years ago, when I felt the calling into ministry, I never knew exactly how it would start. I did not expect to be serving God living in China. I had the dream to travel, but not to live abroad.
And what changed your mind?
You know, I'm glad you asked that. About 4 years ago, I was in my last semester of seminary when I really felt the calling to go on a short-term mission trip. I started praying about where to go. I had a friend that lived in Kathmandu, Nepal. I told him about this calling. We discussed it and prayed about it for the next couple weeks, and then I went to Nepal just 3 weeks after my graduation. I spent 1 month in Nepal. During my third week, we planned to go to India to teach a church leaders conference. This is where I would meet my future bride. She was the MC at this conference. I was collecting currencies from different countries, and I heard she was living in China.
Oh wait, so she was already in China before you came?
Yeah, she was already serving God in China for 1 year before I met her. She just happened to be home that same summer to renew her visa and to visit family. We exchanged some money, Chinese RMB for US dollar. We became good friends afterwards. It didn't take long for us to know that God put us together.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. What made you two realize that God put you together?
Well, first our friendship began to grow quickly. We really enjoyed talking to each other, and soon we realized that we were talking more often and much longer. We started to have feelings for each other. When I told her that I liked her, she said, "If you like me, you have to also like China."
So China was her dream then?
Yes, to be honest, at the time I didn't have the calling to live abroad, but after she made that statement, I really began to pray. I asked God that if she was the right woman to change my heart. After 1 month of prayer and fasting, He really made it clear that I should move to China and marry her.
So it's like God used an interesting way to call you to China, and He first put a desire in her heart that would lead you to follow the same calling?
Yes, sometimes I think maybe I wouldn't have never come to China if it wasn't for my wife. It's really funny how God works through other people sometimes.
Oh yes, it is. And so when exactly did you come to China?
Well, let's see. We met in the summer of 2012. We started dating a few months after that, and I moved to China in early 2013.
Yeah, I'm curious, how did you serve God when you arrived in China?
I found a job as a teacher, English teacher. It is the most common job for a foreigner, and it's easy to find. I taught at a couple of different schools before coming to the college where I teach now.
Which is the college where my dad teaches.
Yes, that's where I met you. I was very happy and excited that God put people in my path to serve with.
Yeah, I'm really glad that God allowed us to meet and serve together.
So Leo, how did God call you into ministry?
First of all, it all starts with when God called me through a good friend. I met this American friend, Gary. He seemed different from all my other friends. There was just a quality about him that I was wondering where it came from. So it's really amazing how God works through other people, you know.
So he was the one that led you to Christ?
Yep. He said that everyone is special and that I was special too. And he said that he could see a bright future for my life. And I was going through some hard times when I thought my life was worthless back then. And well, during the time he was telling me, he kind of helped me to realize that there is hope. We became good friends, and over time I gave my life to Jesus.
That's awesome. Now, I remember when I met you, your dad wanted me to tutor you in English.
Oh, yeah. And as we were having class one day, we started talking about church, and which made me excited to know that you were a follower of Jesus, too.
Yes, I remember because you started asking me to teach you some Bible stories. I was a little shocked but excited myself. Here was a young teenage boy asking me about the Bible. Our friendship began to grow. I became your mentor, and that's how we became ministry partners.
Yeah, Gary was the only Christian foreigner I knew back then, so when I met you, I was really curious to learn from you as well. I've really learned a lot since then, and have grown closer to God in the process. I really do think so.
Yeah, I'm really excited to start this ministry, and I hope you are too. My vision for this ministry is to help families grow together. For now, Leo and I will be recording some podcasts to teach some basic Bible truths. It is my hope that in the future I can travel to many places teaching and preaching God's Word.
So check back often to listen to some new podcasts.
I hope you enjoyed our first segment. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.